Hi everyone, my name is Holly, and in today's video I'm going to be doing my April wrap-up. So I read 6 books in April, which is crazy to me. I am so proud of myself because last month I only read 2 books. So I am so happy that I really upped that number this month, and I actually read some decent books. There's a couple that were disappointing. It was definitely a roller coaster of ratings for me, but let's go ahead and get started. So the first book that I read in April was Alice's Adventures in Wonderland and Through the Looking Glass by Lewis Carroll. So my expectations for this book were really high. I thought for sure that I was going to be thrown into this new fandom that I was going to be obsessed with. I was ready to buy all of the Alice in Wonderland merch, and then I started reading it. And then I finished it. I don't get it. I just don't get it. And of course, everyone knows that the whole Alice in Wonderland story is supposed to be weird. That's old news. But not so weird that I wouldn't understand anything that was going on most of the time. Technically, most of the time, it's just characters talking gibberish and not making any sense. I found every conversation to be pointless and exhausting. I had to take ibuprofen every night after reading this because, man, the headaches were real. They were no joke. I found Alice to be really annoying and a spoiled brat, and all of the characters were just so rude. Just because you're mad doesn't mean you need to be rude. I came really close to not finishing this, but I finished Alice's Adventures in Wonderland and I moved on to Through the Looking Glass, and I couldn't stand it either. So all in all, I ended up rating this book 2 out of 5 stars, and to be honest, that's kind of being generous. I'm really saddened that I won't be a part of this love that surrounds this book, but it is what it is. So you guys know, if you saw my April TBR, that you know after I read Alice in Wonderland, I was going to move on to Heartless by Marissa Meyer. And man, I was so scared to move on to this. But holy crap, was it amazing. I cannot believe how much I fell in love with this book. Who in their right mind would love a retelling more than its original story? Like, am I weird? This book is all about the Queen of Hearts before she technically became the Queen of Hearts. So this follows a girl named Catherine, and all she wants in life is to open her own bakery. But no one in her family understands, like her mother, and her mother wants her to become queen. A royal ball is taking place, and the king becomes attracted to Catherine. And Catherine cannot stand the king, and I couldn't stand him either. But while she is at this royal ball, she ends up becoming attracted to Jest, who is the king's jester, and it all just becomes a big ball of drama. And let me tell you, the description of food in this book is holy crap amazing, and it will make you so hungry. Catherine talks about baking tarts and brownies and cakes and how she bakes them. So good. I will admit that I am so happy that I read Alice in Wonderland before I went on to this, because there were so many references that I understood that I might not have if I hadn't read Alice in Wonderland. Like the unbirthdays and the game of croquet with flamingos and hedgehogs. So I ended up giving this book 5 out of 5 stars. It is one of my all-time favorite new books. Also, if you want your heart broken, read this, because it will shatter you. The next book that I read was Everything Everything by Nicola Yoon. This is a contemporary book that I picked up because the movie actually comes out in May, so I thought I would go ahead and read it just in case I wanted to see the movie. This book follows a girl named Madeline who has a very rare disease where she is pretty much allergic to everything, and she can't even leave her own home. She has a special air venting system that filters the air that she breathes, and one day a family moves in next door, and Madeline becomes very curious about the boy who is part of this family. And his name is Ollie, and he ends up living in the bedroom across Madeline's window. I I did thoroughly enjoy this book. It was really cute, and I've never really read a contemporary like this. Well, technically I don't really read contemporary that much. I did thoroughly enjoy this, but I will admit that the big thing that happens, the big twist, kind of ruined the feel of the story for me. If you've read this book, then you know what I'm talking about. So I ended up giving this book 3 out of 5 stars. I enjoyed it and I would recommend it. The next book that I ended up reading was The Wolf Wilder by Catherine Rundell. So this is a middle grade book that I was really excited to read. I'll be honest and admit that I started this book and bought it because of the cover alone. It is just so freaking pretty. I really enjoyed the beginning, but because this book is so short that everything moves too swiftly. A lot of stuff happens in these very few pages, but I really wish I would have gotten more out of those scenes and more out of the story and plot. The world was incredibly interesting, but I just didn't get enough of it, and I really wish I would have. This book has a very fairy tale feel to it, but it got really dull at times. It's beautiful but devastating at the same time. This book almost made me cry because of course it surrounds wolves, so you really start to feel for them, and when something happens, it's quite heartbreaking. But I ended up giving this book 3 out of 5 stars, maybe like a 3.5-ish, somewhere around there. I really enjoyed it. The next book that I ended up picking up was Kill the Boy Band by Goldie Moldavsky. I hope I said that right. I probably didn't. A really popular book reviewer that I follow really enjoyed this book, and it's what made me buy it. And this book was actually quite a surprise. The story follows a group of girls who are obsessed with this band called the Ruperts. Basically One Direction. This book might as well have been a One Direction fan fiction. But they end up booking a hotel at a city that the band is performing in, and the bandmates are actually staying at this hotel as well. So a lot of chaos happens when the girls end up kidnapping one of them, and he ends up tied up in their hotel room. And these girls are absolutely obsessed. They are some serious fangirls, and it was just so funny, and it takes a very morbid turn and becomes a mystery. And I just became obsessed with it, and I needed to know what happened. And I just really enjoyed this book, and I'm so happy that I get to keep it and not unhaul it if I didn't enjoy it, because I'm loving the naked hardback. It's just this pink and the black font, and the end papers are really cool. This book was really good. I ended up giving it a 4 out of 5 stars. Okay, so I actually have one more book to show you, and I'm actually not finished with it yet. The time that I'm filming this, I still have a couple days in April, so I will definitely be finishing this because I am obsessed. Can I say that again? I'm obsessed. Some of you guys might be absolutely shocked that I have not read this series yet, because it is a very loved series, and being 24, I never read it as a kid. So, the book that I'm currently reading and will be finishing, and I already know when I'm gonna read it, is Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, and this is the illustrated edition. That's right, I finally decided to pick up Harry Potter. I recently bought the box set UK editions of them, and that just got me in the mood to finally read them. So I'm currently reading this. I just started it one day ago, and I'm already like halfway done, which is pretty crazy, but I am in love. Oh my gosh, this is so good. I cannot believe I never read it. But I am so excited to finish this, and I'm going to be rating it 5 out of 5 stars because it is just that good. Before I end this video, I do want to mention that I am conflicted on whether or not I should film a June TBR, because honestly I just plan on binge reading Harry Potter, so there's actually no point in me filming it because I think I'm just gonna binge read Harry Potter, like I just said. So those are all the books that I read in April. Tell me down below the books that you read this month, and until we meet again, happy reading.